Welcome to Slow News Day with Kevin Clark. I am Kevin Clark. Woo. Got a mega episode.
Yeah.
Sean Payton, Terry Bradshaw, Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, Joe Montana, DK Metcalf. Ever heard of them?
I like that you have to read those names.
Well, there's a lot of them. Didn't you quit?
I did.
Why are you still in this Zoom? If you were born in 1980, okay, how different would your career have been? What would it look like?
I've been rich! Rich, you hear me? Rich!
All right, Terry Bradshaw, legendary NFL quarterback. You're in Hawaii. You're winning. You're winning Radio Row.
Yes. Yeah. How about this for Radio Row, Kevin? Yeah, we came over right after the championship game. And because we weren't doing Radio Row and weren't going to the game, we came over a week earlier. And actually, we're doing all the work on, through the computer. So it's worked out pretty good. As I'm looking at you, I'm looking at the ocean right over your shoulder.
We will start with the quarterbacks, okay? So you played quarterback. You're one of the best to ever do it. You won 4 Super Bowls. If you try to do every throw Patrick Mahomes can make, what percentage are you hitting?
Oh, me. I never got to throw the ball that much, but I practiced all those throws all through high school and college. I can make those throws. Yeah. I wouldn't make some of them because it would not be a wise decision, but he's fearless. I would be a little bit more protective of it, but yeah, I can make those throws for sure.
All right, so Brady, he's 43 years old. You retired after 13 years in the NFL. You didn't want to push it like Brady did. What is it about Brady that allows him to go to age 43? Obviously, it's a TB12 and all that stuff. There's a ton about it, but there's also just the will to get there.
Yeah, he's driven by football. I wasn't.
Right.
He's consumed with playing and his legacy, I'm sure. He's poised. He's fearless. He's driven. He's everything you want in a quarterback, minus the fact that he can't move a lick, and he's not a strong guy. He's kind of a soft guy, but boys, he's really good.
I want to go back to something you said. You said that he's driven by football. You were not driven by football. What were you driven by when you were playing?
When I was playing, I was driven to win Super Bowls, just probably like Tom. When I knew that those days were over, I really should have retired after 9 years. I wanted to. Winning Super Bowls exhausted me. It wore me out. And plus, I called my own plays, so I had to figure this out on my own. I didn't have a quarterback coach. I didn't have an offensive coordinator. Totally different game when I played. So I was exhausted, mentally exhausted from playing football. He's not. I love watching him play.
I think that's interesting. If you were born in 1980, okay, how different would your career have been? What would it look like?
I've been rich! Rich, you hear me? Rich! Sorry
Terry,
about that.
You're in Hawaii. You're in Hawaii right now, Terry.
I know I am. But you don't have to be rich to be in Hawaii. But you can get a fly. Hey, Southwest flies here now, man. Come on. It's how much it costs to fly over here, babe? My wife's right here. What, $600? $300? $400?
Where'd you fly from? LA?
No, we flew from our chalet in Paris. I came from Dallas.
So I want to ask you, obviously it's a different time for everybody. We're all staying indoors. We're all watching different stuff. What have you have any quarantine hobbies? Are you watching more TV shows? What's Terry Bradshaw's life like right now?
Well, I'm a quarter horse rancher. So we live on a quarter horse ranch. And
okay.
So I'm consumed with going back and forth from the barns back to the house. We have a lake that we fish in a lot. I stay right there on the property and didn't go anywhere. That's a good quarantine,
That's a great one. Tell us what you're doing with Frito-Lay.
Well, Frito-Lay, I'm part of the Legends group that's all these great, Marshawn Lynch is the Night Before Christmas guy. And then we have Eli and Peyton Manning and Archie. They got a deal going. And then myself. And then Troy Aikman, Joe Montana, and Jerry Rice. We're all part of this. And it's all about, I'm arguing about it's the pass and not the catch and the immaculate reception.
All right, we'll get you out on this. We do something in the newspaper every time. So we'll do your horoscope. You're September 2nd. That's your birthday, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, here it is. You're a Virgo. No one is making you jump through hoops to earn your place. though you may do this anyway, a habit born of a belief that you must work to deserve life's bounty. That's pretty nice. That sounds like you, Terry.
Yeah, that is me.
Just working every day.
Every day.
I love that.
Perfect.
That's a good horoscope.
It's in the quiet crucible of your personal private suffering that your noblest dreams are born and God's greatest gifts are given in compensation for what you've been through. There you go. Take that one.
What's that from?
Huh?
What is that from?
That is, I stole that from a singer, and he said that before he sang this song. It's in the quiet crucible. It's trial. And it's about, the whole thing is that you face so many dark sides, so many downsides in life, but those that don't give up, those that persevere, those that try to create a way to get out and escape and to be happy, God will bless you for the effort. And that's what that means.
That's beautiful. What a life lesson. What a life lesson from the horoscope. I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
Last thing we do something called Club Kevin. It's just whoever you think did the best job this week. Could be anybody in sports, could be anybody in any walk of life that you think is winning this week, Terry.
All right, I think the Los Angeles Rams won.
Ooh.
And they got Matthew Stafford. There's some questions as whether or not he's a difference maker, and I believe he is. And that's a great upgrade over Jared Goff.
I agree with you. I think it's a huge upgrade. I think Goff was just not going to do anything in LA, and I think Stafford is the only path. Stafford is the only path to a Super Bowl for them.
Yeah, I agree.
Matthew Stafford, you're in Club Kevin. Woo.
There you are.
All right. Thank you so much, Terry. This has been great. Are you really good at it?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I would say I'm pretty good. Yeah. As Quandre Diggs.
Oh, DK Metcalf, NFL star receiver. He's here with Bolt 24 by Gatorade. So I always say the Seahawks never play a normal game. They have the strangest, most chaotic game sometimes. That's happening long before you were there. Why are the Seahawks comfortable playing in chaotic games? Why do they seem to thrive on that sort of chaotic energy, DK?
I have no idea. It just seems to always play out that way, even when we're, about to blow a team out. It just seems to happen that way. I have no idea. But whenever we get put in a Super Bowl and it's a chaotic game, it's going to be easy for us to win because we've been in that situation 1,000 times, or a championship opportunity.
Chaos finds you guys.
Exactly. So it just has its way of finding us, I would say.
DK, you went viral this year a bunch of times. I don't know if anybody goes viral more often than you do. And I want to talk about the number one thing, which would be Budda Baker running down the sideline. Budda Baker says it's the first time he's ever been hawked in his entire life. When you saw it, did you know you were going to catch up to him, or did you kind of adapt as you were going down the sideline? Take me through the whole thing and your thought process.
All right, so break the huddle, go line up on the left side. I run my route. I see Russ floats it up a little bit, and I see Budda comes and jumps and intercepts the football. So, I'm behind everybody a little bit. So I'm just trying not to get lit up by one of the Cardinals players trying to block for Budda. I think it was Kevin Peterson, one of the D lineman who tried to clip Russ a little bit as he was going by him. I seen that was the last person. So after I got past him, I just said, I'm going to catch him.
Speaking of viral, I think you've had 4 or 5 times where you've been working out or you're doing pregame stuff and a photo of you looking cool goes viral. For everybody out there who's trying to look cool while they work out, for the gram or whatever, what tips do we have?
Never look at the camera.
Oh.
Don't look at the camera.
Oh, so play it off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Play it off smooth and cool. Act like you're going to get a Bolt 24 and the camera will find you. If you're doing your thing out there and you're the only one, it's going to find you.
There's a genre of tweet out there, DK, that happens once every week or whatever, and they get 500 retweets, and A.J. Brown hates it. It's the A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf played together at Ole Miss. How did they not win the national championship? All this stuff. Can we do a funeral for this tweet? Can we just say, can we get you to say to stop tweeting this? Or are you okay with it?
I mean, I really don't be seeing a tweet like that. Every once in a while, it may pop up that how we're A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf, Dalton Knox on the same team, and we didn't do anything. I mean, we're different players now in the NFL. Our OC was working with what he had, so I mean, you can't blame him for our lack of success or nothing like that. I mean, I wasn't the same player I was in college. What
is different about the way you are now in the NFL versus when you were growing up, DK, and in college?
My knowledge of the game and my confidence.
Was there a moment where you realized that you could hang in the NFL? Because I know, you talk to guys sometimes and they say, okay, I don't know about the speed of the game, or they just see it for the first time in a preseason game and go, oh my God, I can't do this. And then they realize that something clicks for them. Was there a moment for you where it clicked?
It clicked. Philly game rookie year. The second Philly game, playoff game.
Yeah.
I set the record for after that. I was like, this is.
There was some pretty good evidence at that point.
Yeah. If you put your mind to it, you can do it.
Big picture with the Super Bowl. You didn't play either of these teams in the regular season, but obviously you watched them and you watched the quarterbacks and all that stuff. If you were to point to one thing in this game, where do you start?
I don't know, bro. They're pretty even. The only thing I was talking earlier is Kansas City O-line and the Bucs D-line.
With the offseason, what are your hobbies? What's your day like? Are we watching a lot of TV? Are we working out? Do we have new hobbies outdoors? What's the DK Metcalf life right now?
I would say from about 9 to 12, getting up, working out. 12:30, 12:45, I'm on video games for the rest of the day. This
is the life. What are the games?
All I play is Warzone, Call of Duty.
Are you really good at it?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I would say I'm pretty good. Yeah. As Quandre did.
Oh, is there like a Seahawks click there that where you guys play during the season?
DBs and receivers, we will argue all the time. Man.
We do something called Club Kevin, where we just give an award to whoever we think had the best week of anybody.
Who is lit winning this week? When do I have to have an answer by? 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I think with Bolt 24, we're about to take off Gatorade. So, like you said, I'm here with Bolt 24, their new off-the-field drink with no artificial flavors or sweeteners.
Okay, we're giving it to Bolt 24. All right, I like that. DK Metcalf, you're here on behalf of Bolt 24. Thank you so much, and enjoy the offseason. Enjoy the game on Sunday.
All right, yes, sir. Thank you.
That's like going to take a year of my life if I start watching Son of Man.
Yeah, it might. I think Game of Thrones did that for me, and I don't regret a second of it, though. So
Wait a second. You don't regret the last season of it?
I regret a little bit of the last season.
Slow News Day, Christian McCaffrey, NFL star. He's here on behalf of Blows. What's going on, buddy?
Not too much, man. How you doing? Appreciate you having me on.
What do we think this guy is doing now? You got memed here when this guy yelled Heisman after this game in 2015. What do you, first of all, what do you remember about this?
It was very difficult to focus on the interview, but I hope this guy's sitting in a throne somewhere because, I didn't win the Heisman that year.
Yeah.
I wish that guy was a voter. Maybe it would have been a little different, but no, I was super excited about that guy. He believed in me. And, for him to do that, nobody loves that guy more than my mom, though. My mom, I think, tracked him down to thank for his support. So nothing but respect for him.
He was extremely into the cause. He did not believe Derrick Henry should win that award. I remember that part of it.
Yeah.
Big news this week is that the college football video game is coming back. I think that no one lost as much as you because you would have been, tell me if I'm wrong here, you may have been the best college football video game player of all time, right? I'm like, who would not have selected Stanford for every game when you were playing? You have to have thought about that.
Oh, absolutely, man. I mean, I still play that game. I still play 14. Remember, I have three brothers with 4 remotes, and we'll do practice mode, and we'll do random plays, random defenses, and we'll pick the best offense against the worst defense. And, as excited as I am for the game to come back, I am a little bit salty that they didn't have it during my stint because I really would have loved to play with the old Stanford Cardinal for sure.
The 2015 Christian McCaffrey, that would have been cheating in that game. Just dump it off, the whole thing. Watching the Super Bowl this Sunday, I think it's probably, we know the narratives, right? If you're pointing to one thing in this game that we're not thinking about enough for these two teams, where are you going, Christian?
Oh, man, it's a good question. I think I'm going to the line of scrimmage. I think I'm excited to watch the offensive line versus the front 7 of the Bucs. And then vice versa. I think you have so much talent there that's not being talked about. Obviously you talk about the Hills and the Kelseys, and the Gronks and the Mike Evans and the Ronald Jones and Fournettes. But I think when you look at, who can pressure the quarterback the most, who can extend plays, and who can stop the run, I think it's gonna hold true to whoever's gonna win the football game. So that, as a running back too, I always love watching the big guys up front. So that's really what I'm looking at.
So we had Saquon on a couple days ago, and we talked a little bit about sort of the rehab process and what that's like. And one thing we've talked about, and I've talked about this with other guys as well, is when you're out for an extended period of time and you're watching football, you get a different perspective. What perspective did you gain this year?
Yeah, I think you hit it spot on. I mean, you get a whole nother image of what football is, and something that I'm not used to. I've never missed a game until this year, and so I got to see just the in-game flow and the dynamic of the coaches or the players and what everybody is seeing at the same time without focusing on one job. And you get to see where things go wrong, you get to see where things go right, and you kind of get a feel for the entire flow of the game from a player and from a coach.
Are you watching any good TV right now?
I've watched some good shows. I just started Sons of Anarchy. I did watch that show though. I watched Queen's Gambit. It was Queen's Gambit. It was a very good show, the one you got in front of me.
Sons of Anarchy. I want to watch it, but it's like 92 episodes.
I just started it. The first episode was good. So, but I can't speak on it yet.
It just seems like that's like going to take a year of my life if I start watching Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, it might. I think Game of Thrones did that for me, and I don't regret a second of it, though. So
Wait a second. You don't regret the last season of it?
I regret a little bit of the last season. But all in all, I look at, the creative behind that show, and seasons 1 through 7 for me were absolutely amazing.
What has replaced Game of Thrones as the show everybody talks about in the locker room?
It differs. I'm still an Office fanatic. I talk about The Office all the time, quote it all the time. That's my show, but that's not like a common super big hit in the locker room.
What is your most quoted Office line?
Oh, that's tough. There's so many.
Is there at least a character?
I think Michael Scott as an overall character is one of the greatest characters of all time. He's a narcissist and completely oblivious, but yet everybody in the world loves him. And I think an underrated character in that show is Creed. Todd Packer. People don't talk about Todd Packer enough. He makes the show better.
We do a thing called Club Kevin. It is basically whoever won the week. Could be anything. Could be sports, TV, pop culture. It doesn't matter. Who do you think crushed it this week, Christian?
Oh, that's a good question, man.
Could be this month, could be this year. Doesn't matter. It is a very loosely defined, Christian.
Dustin Poirier had a pretty good month.
He did.
I'm a UFC fan, so
me too.
Watching him take the belt, and obviously the mutual respect between him and McGregor was fun to watch. So, I think he definitely had a good month.
Yes or no? Does McGregor ever win a big fight again?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's changed so much.
I think. Well, he's changed, as a human being, I'm sure, but. I think when you look at that last fight, I thought he looked really solid. The leg kicks got him. It's tough to fight when you can't move, but Dustin Poirier is a champ, and I think he hung in there very well and had some good shots. And, he's out of the fight game for about a year and a half. So I think as he continues to fight more and get more, it's like anything, you get more reps, I think he'll definitely be better.
All right, tell us what you're doing with Lowe's.
Yeah, so, I'm very excited to partner with Lowe's. They're doing a lot of really cool things in the community. One of the things they're doing specifically in Charlotte is they're transforming the Charlotte Veterans Bridge home into a community for veterans to come and military families to come and sort of hang out as a lounge area. And, that to me, anytime I get an opportunity to help the military out or do something with the military, I jump to it. So they're having a huge impact in Charlotte, but also in all 32 NFL cities. I think there's a player from each team who's representing the Lowe's home team. So, and anytime the word home is used in a Super Bowl commercial, they're partnering with an excellent nonprofit called Rebuilding Together, where they're going to complete home repairs for veteran families, or, I think for military families in general. So definitely very honored and proud to be a part of the Lowe's home team.
It's a worthy cause. Thank you so much, Christian McCaffrey, for joining us on Slow News Day.
Thanks, Kevin.
Did you get on GameStop?
So what's that?
Did you get in on GameStop?
No.
Joe Montana, NFL legend. He's here with Guinness. You are Tom Brady's childhood hero. That has been long established. You were inducted into the Hall of Fame at age 43. and he's playing a Super Bowl at 43. And I'm curious, having watched his career and knowing him and connecting with him, if there's one thing that stands out about Tom Brady that makes him different from every other quarterback who's ever played, where do you start, Joe?
I think just his resilience, that he's been able to make it this long. Obviously the game's a little bit different, and so physically it's not quite as demanding on the quarterbacks, though it's still not easy. It still makes it a little bit easier for those guys playing at that level. But I just think anyone who makes it this long in the career, like, you take him and you take Drew, Brees, and Aaron. Well, Aaron's still kind of, he's on the younger side. So.
Yeah, he's like 37. He's a spring chicken.
It's not only physically demanding, but it's mentally, draining. I think that's the biggest thing is, being able to handle this thing the mental part of it. And physically, as long as he stays fit, these guys can play for a long time. And, that was part of the reason I stepped back was physically. I'd had enough of it.
If you're trying to tell someone what it used to be like for quarterbacks, where would you start, Joe?
I would just have your friend come running at you straight forward right into your face, then have you try to throw something accurately to somebody else, even though he's not going to hit you. But then maybe he might. and I think that's the biggest difference is that used to be the thing that, made a difference between one quarterback and another is can I stand there knowing I'm going to get hit and throw that ball accurately? That's the biggest part of this league. When you get up to that as a quarterback, you need to be accurate. I used to show people in high school, I'd stand about 6 feet apart and I go, this is open in high school. Take about half of that down to maybe 3 feet. That's open in college. And now put somebody right on your back and go, that's still open. And you just have to figure out how to get him the ball.
So you were kind of a badass. You won 4 Super Bowls. You still are a badass, but you won 4 Super Bowls. And obviously Super Bowl week probably became something different for you eventually because it became routine, kind of like what Tom is now. What was Super Bowl week like for you? When you're playing in your 3rd and 4th one, how do you process it differently, Joe?
Imagine this. You've never had candy in your life. Somebody gives you candy for the first time, right? Chocolate, whatever. All of a sudden, these kids are going, oh, my God, I want more of that. I want more of that. And that's what it's like when you win Super Bowl. And they're both going through this right now. You got Brady, who's won, a bundle, and Patrick, who's, trying to win 2 in a row. And Super Bowl week is crazy for the quarterbacks. It's even harder when you're playing at home. Like we played one of them at Stanford. There's so many more distractions when you're there. Everybody is around you. The only bad part is those 2 weeks. We used to have so many fights in practice because everybody was ready to play on day 7 or 8. And then we still had a whole nother week. And Bill started taking pads off of everybody. And he got to a point where we said, okay, we're not going to put any pads on because I don't trust you guys.
Did you get in any fights during the Super Bowl ramp up?
No. Oh. It's just usually the linemen and the line,
A couple weeks ago, Aaron Rodgers was seen smiling and laughing while playing a playoff game. And a couple of people I talked to in the past or now have said his demeanor makes defenders more upset because he's having a great time out there. He's just cool as can be. And the obvious comparison is with you because you had a demeanor out there, a Joe Cool demeanor. Do you think your demeanor made defenders mad because you were unflappable, because you were kind of just cool as can be out there?
A lot of times it started, you'd have conversations with like the defensive linemen.
Yeah.
Like Tim Harris, when he was in Green Bay, was constantly badgering. I was looking to the sideline all the time we got the play signaled to us because we didn't have the earpieces yet. He would be talking to me. Where'd you go last night? Hey, Joe, don't look over there. Talk to me. And then he'd just make up stuff. And then you'd get where with like Matt Millen, you come up to the line of scrimmage. We played the Raiders so many times. I would be calling an audible and Matt goes, oh, no, not 324. Omaha. I don't think it really does anything to the defense. And you can see him laughing. He was talking to some of the defensive guys, you could tell. And they were saying things back and forth to each other. But it was more fun stuff. You could tell it wasn't like aggressiveness, and it's still fun. Everybody out there played it since they were kids and absolutely love it and enjoy it. And so why not show it?
Phil Simms said the other day that before he played in a Super Bowl, he watched you on Saturday Night Live and realized how good you were at it. That Saturday Night Live has now become legendary. How often do you hear about it? I mean, I don't hear about any Saturday Night Lives from 30 years ago except the Joe Montana one, Joe.
You know what? It was scary and it was fun. It was sort of like playing football because, they have a game plan, and then guess what? You go out and you do it. You practice it live before you go on really live. You practice it in front of the audience. And then all of a sudden between that and the next 30 minutes, before you go on live for real, they change everything. So you got to try to memorize quickly. It was a lot of fun. I got to do it with Walter Payton also. So it was, it made it even a little bit easier because I didn't have to run this whole show myself.
Was there a cast member that you just gelled with the most?
Yeah, I think all of them. You know, Church Lady and
Dana Carvey
and the Liar, and and people don't remember the Liar probably or the Church Lady, but
I remember the Church Lady. I remember the famous skit that we won't talk about here that people probably say back to you all the time. Joe, are you watching any good TV right now?
We just watched I'm trying to remember the name of it last night. A thing on the start of soccer.
Oh, the English Game.
Yeah, the English Game. Yeah, we just.
I loved that. No one was talking about that.
Yeah, that was good. And we watch more things like that. Although we do watch The Big Bang.
Big Bang Theory. What do you like about The Big Bang Theory?
That comes on after the news, and we just watch it. The banter goes back and forth between them. You can always, what's coming out of someone's mouth, but it's still funny.
Tell me about what you're doing with Guinness, Joe.
Been a part of Guinness now, and for a while, and we've done. This is our second commercial together, and we're talking about what it's like, what it takes to be a GOAT, and that if we think about it, there's really a GOAT inside of all of us, and we're trying to get people to realize that hey, it's been a tough year, but it just relax, sit back, and remember that we got this, and let's try to help the people around us because there is that greatness everywhere. And, let's face it, the greatest pint there is Guinness. So
check out the commercial. Joe Montana, thank you so much for joining Slow News Day.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Oh, this is the good stuff. What's his name?
Bo.
Bo? How old is Bo?
He's a year and some change.
Oh, my God. All right, Saquon Barkley, NFL star, Pro Bowl selection, one of the most dynamic players in the NFL. What's going on, man? Welcome to Slow News Day.
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
So I want to start, you're here on behalf of Verizon. I want to start, it said you're going to be, you and the other gamers in the NFL. What's your favorite video game to play?
I like playing a whole bunch of video games. I would say Fortnite's probably one of my favorites to play. And I'm excited to be teaming with Verizon and giving fans opportunity to watch us playing in the new 5G stadium today with a whole bunch of NFL players and gamers.
So I wanted to ask about especially since the injury, because you said you've gotten more into games. When you have all this free time now, and I want to start with the football part of it, because when I talk to guys sometimes who miss a season, they say, okay, well, I watched more football than I ever had in my life, or I got to study this or whatever. If you learned something about the game this year from just watching football, is there anything you can point to?
You kind of had more of a fan approach to it because you aren't actually on a football field, or you're not playing and have to go back and watch film and seeing what you could have done better or what we could have done better as a team. So I would say that's the difference. You have a different view, more of you see where fans have that kind of approach come from. I'll say that, but it sucked. I'm not gonna lie.
All right. So you talked about kind of the fan view and sort of appreciating a new angle this year. When you look at these two teams, the Chiefs and the Bucs this year, what's one thing we're not talking enough about in the lead up to this game and in the matchup?
I feel like everyone's just making it a Tom Brady and Pat Mahomes thing, in my opinion. And I think that the Buccaneers defense is really going to come out and steal the show.
So I think you're one of the most exciting players in football to watch. I think that's pretty much, there's no conversation about that. You're definitely on the Mount Rushmore. Who is your favorite player to watch?
My favorite player to watch, I would say Lamar.
Oh, okay.
Lamar Jackson. He's amazing. There's so many players who are amazing, and I'm a big fan of the game. But Lamar Jackson, just what he's able to do at the quarterback position, we're talking about it the other day. Me and my boys were where we ranked the quarterbacks, and I'm like, I don't even have Lamar's in his own atmosphere, his own world. He has his own category, in my opinion. So I would say Lamar Jackson, probably my favorite player to watch.
We have to do this. I'm sorry, we have to do it. When you come back, do you have Daniel Jones running tips? Do you have tips for Danny Dimes? He did not handle a fall very gracefully. He had a lot of open field in front of him. How are we working with Daniel Jones going forward? He's a good runner, but that was, for someone as graceful as you on the field, that must have been painful to watch.
It was hilarious. It was only hilarious because we finished the drive and we scored. So at the end of the day, they say whatever they want to say, but he still found a way to put the ball in the end zone, or the team still found a way to put the ball in the end zone. But he made up for it against the Eagles too. We played him again a couple weeks later, and he took him for 30, 40 yards. So with DJ's amazing runner. And I think that I think he showed that this year, and I think that when you play us next year, that's going to be a threat. You got to kind of worry about his running ability. I'm not saying it's like on the level of Lamar Jackson, but that's something you're going to worry about, and it's going to help me out. It helps the running back out. When you have a running quarterback, or a quarterback is mobile, it can hurt you with his feet. You got to account for it, and that split second that if it's a read option, that split second that the defense has to stop his feet. That's giving me opportunity to use my speed and use my burst to get through that hole and make a play happen.
Are you watching any good TV right now, Saquon?
Watch any good TV? Watched a good movie yesterday with Denzel called The Little Things. Still a little confused on the end of who the actual killer is.
Do we think this Durant Harden thing is going to work in Brooklyn?
Yeah. I'm a big KD fan. I think it's not just Durant and Harden, but with Kyrie. At the end of the day, when you have those, everyone's talking about how they're going to work, or they're all too special in this. At the end of the day, if they just come to agreement of just one common goal, and that's win the championship, which I believe that they're going to be able to do, then it can happen.
All right, let's do the last thing we do. It's called Club Kevin. It's just whoever crushed it this week. It could be anybody from any walk of life, whether it's sports, whether it's pop culture, whatever. Who do you think has had the best week?
Sorry, can you say it again? My dog just started spazzing out.
It's okay. Is your dog? Where's your dog?
He's right here.
Bring him up. Oh, this is the good stuff. What's his name?
Bo.
Bo? How old is Bo?
He's a year and some change.
Oh my God. So it's called Club Kevin. It's just whoever crushed it this week. It could be any walk of life. Your favorite person this week who's done the best job in any walk of life.
Oh, what happened this week? LaMelo Ball got his first start. I'm a big fan of LaMelo Ball.
What do we think? What does LaMelo Ball's future look like?
He's a stud. I think he's going to be really good. I think he's kind of like Magic Johnson-ish. Like, I want to put that label. Like, I think he can have that kind of impact in the game. He may not drop 40 or 30 every game, but he's going to give you a solid like 20 and 10 and 10. So I think you can't. That does not hurt the team at all.
2 predictions: NBA champion this year, and then Super Bowl prediction.
The Bucks going to win, hopefully, and Brady gets his 7th ring. And I think it's going to be LeBron and the Lakers versus KD and the Nets.
Ooh.
I got the Nets 7.
All right, Saquon Barkley, Bo, LaMelo Ball, everybody did a great job. Thank you so much, Saquon. Thanks for coming on Slow News Day.
Thank you, man. Take care.
It's unbelievable what he's doing in the kitchen for everyone. He's boiling the water. He's turning the oven on. He's putting the whipped cream on the pie back here. He's telling him, hey, it looks like pressure. Alert over here.
All right, Sean Payton, legendary NFL coach. He's here on behalf of Zebra Technologies. I think that nothing is more divisive in the national media about the Saints than Taysom Hill. Address the Taysom haters who I've been in the past. I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to use weasel words about what he can do on the field and why he's valuable and in that conversation.
If Taysom Hill were available for a trade, how many suitors do you think we'd have just as a football player? I'd tell you we'd have 31.
Wow.
As a football player. If you spoke to GMs and coaches around the league, there's 2. He's 6'2.5". He weighs 240 pounds and he can fly. When I say fast, he's one of the faster players on our team. And so if he never touched the ball at quarterback, and maybe Skeptic is more quarterback driven, there would be a linebacking position for him. There would be a strong safety position for him. There would be an F tight end position for him. And I darn sure want to make sure that there shouldn't have been a quarterback position for him. There's an element to our team when he's in the game in how we can run the football, different than a wildcat quarterback where the safety in the middle of the field comes out of the middle of the field because he sees a running back or a receiver under center. You kind of just got to be around or near him to see the athleticism. It's off the charts.
Sean, I started that as a Taysom skeptic. Now I'm ready to trade a first-round pick for him. That's where I'm at right now. You scouted Mahomes. You told this story before. You think he's one of the best prospects you've ever seen, if not the best. What's something we don't appreciate enough about Patrick Mahomes?
His ability to process. When I say process, here we go. Trips right, Y left. We're going to send the guy in motion. The safety travels. Hey, it's man to man to man. Here's my new mic. His ability to communicate and process all the things. It's unbelievable what he's doing in the kitchen for everyone. He's boiling the water. He's turning the oven on. He's putting the whipped cream on the pie back here. He's telling him, hey, it looks like pressure, alert over here. Like that's not easy when there's a clock ticking and then everyone sees the scramble, everyone sees the big arm. But I think between the ears is hard to understand as a fan or appreciate. He is at a spaceship in charge of about 430 switches, and he's clicking them all and in a timely manner.
One thing that you talked about in 2019 after your loss was that for 3 straight days you ate ice cream and watched Netflix, which I think we can all relate to. How do you process playoff losses now? And what have the last couple weeks been like for you? Do you get right back at it? Do you take a couple weeks to sort of mourn, I guess? How do you do it? Is it more Netflix and ice cream?
Look, here's the deal. That was I believe that was the 18 officiating debacle. 2 minutes from being in the Super Bowl. Like that still hadn't set in really.
Right.
In other words, how that all went down. Here's what I like. I hate when I hear the controversial call. That's a soft way of spinning something. There are other words, but that wouldn't be the word I'd use. The most important part of this postseason, well before we evaluate others, is evaluating our own and trying to do that unemotionally. We spend a week on that. Coaches are gone for a week of vacation, and then we come back in, which is the week we're in now, and we categorize every player on this roster into groups, and they have a lot of different meanings, and then we move on to other teams. So when you're in our position and you're watching the game, the clearest or cleanest, easiest emotion is just jealousy. You having had it already and tasted it already, you can't wait for the next one.
I want to just briefly talk about this. Steve Smith has said this before, that people don't realize, especially that Panthers-Saints rivalry, which was so heated back then. I guess every NFC South rivalry can be. But he was said that you and him used to talk a lot of trash on the sideline. And I think that a lot of people don't understand how you can operate sometimes with some of those guys on the sideline. How do you approach that? Who are your favorite guys to go back and forth with?
Steve was unique. Steve just had this way about him that it almost like he brought me into this, and then all of a sudden, like, I don't know how he just did that, but I'm in it, and then we had some fun with it. Yeah, and to this day, I've got a ton of respect. Later had a chance to coach him at a Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
It was that competitive nature that you really envied and you looked for from your own players.
I think that the future of football looks so different than it does now. And the way that teams evolve and all that stuff, if you were to point to one thing, Sean, with Zebra or anything else, just the rise of technology, where football is going to change because of it, where do you start?
I think you start with officiating. And the reason I say that is it's covered so closely now with replay, HD, all the angles that we get. And we've got pylon cameras. We've got, in obviously big games, more cameras. Yep. We have the chip in footballs now, crossing any plane, yard to gain, sideline, punts that go out of bounds, all of that. I think that we'll see very quickly advancements that can help our officials with some of the more basic things we take for granted.
When's your birthday, Sean? We'll do horoscope.
All right, December 29th.
Decisions seem daunting as you sense that even the small choices will be life-altering. Think in terms of what you feel available to. I think that's a pretty good off-season horoscope, right?
Yeah, sure.
We do a thing called Club Kevin. It's just anybody you think has crushed it this week. Could be anything, whether you're watching TV, whether you're watching sports, anything you can say this person is winning this week, Sean.
Look, Jim Trotter wrote a tremendous piece with a lot of help from a few other black coaches relative to our failures in the NFL to really do a good enough job or the proper job in the hiring of black head coaches. I obviously, it's still a problem. I thought that was a fantastic piece that I read. I had a chance to just finished the I don't know if it was Netflix, but the Queen's Gambit, that kind of crushed it for me. That was fascinating. Man, I just thought her character was unbelievable. Look, everyone likes rags to riches to some degree. And so she's in an orphanage. Everyone gets dealt certain hands of cards at the beginning of their life. And, she didn't get a lot of good cards. And yet also the chess element, because I'm jealous, it makes you want to go out, buy a chess set and start taking lessons. But then I don't want to do that because What if I'm awful at it?
I think you'd be pretty good at it. Isn't football just real life chess?
Like, I'm sure to some degree it is. You know, the difference is you can go sideways in chess and you can go sideways back left in chess, and football is forward and backward. So maybe football is closer to checkers. I don't know.
We'll get you out of here on a prediction. What do you think Sunday?
I'm not going to give you a team or a score. I'm going to give you this. All right. Be leery of the team that's gone on the road to win all 3 of their playoff games to get to this game. And history's told us that's a dangerous team. Obviously, the champs are the team you have to knock off. But I think, man, Tampa's played really well of late. Like I said before, I'm just jealous that we're not there.
Sean Payton, thank you very much for coming on Slow News Day, buddy.
Thank you.